こんにちは。ジャパニーズポッド101です。
おはよう東京。こんばんはニューヨーク。こんにちはロンドン。
Hey everyone, Jessie です。Jessie here.
こんにちは、夏子です。Hi everyone, I'm Natsuko.
Welcome to Lower Beginner Season 1, Lesson 5. What's your Japanese address? So Natsuko, what are we going to learn in this lesson?
In this lesson, we are going to learn how to give a taxi driver directions using までお願いします and how to ask what something is using something は何ですか?
And where does this lesson's dialogue take place?
Ken and Emily are going home from the party in the previous lesson in the taxi.
Okay, sounds good.
では、聞きましょう。
Let's listen to the dialogue.
イノベーティブマンションまでお願いします。
イノベーティブマンション？住所は何ですか？
これです。
赤坂 1-2-3。はい、着きました。1380円です。
1380円。はい。すみません。領収書お願いします。
Let's hear the conversation one time slowly.
イノベーティブマンションまでお願いします。
イノベーティブマンション？住所は何ですか？
これです。
赤坂 1-2-3。はい、着きました。1380円です。
1380円。はい。すみません。領収書お願いします。
Now let's hear it with the English translation.
イノベーティブマンションまでお願いします。
To innovative mansion, please.
イノベーティブマンション？住所は何ですか？
Innovative mansion? What's the address?
これです。
This is it.
赤坂 1-2-3。
Akasaka 1-2-3.
はい、着きました。1380円です。
Here we are. 1,380 yen, please.
1380円。はい。
1,380 yen. Okay.
すみません。領収書お願いします。
Excuse me, can I have a receipt, please? Wow, so it seems Ken and Emily are rather well off.
Why do you say that?
Well, when she gave their address, Emily said that they live in innovative mansion. So they live in a mansion.
Actually, the word mansion in Japanese and the word mansion in English mean very different things.
Okay, so then what would you imagine when you hear the word mansion, Natsuko?
A mansion is what we would call an apartment building in English. A mansion tends to be a concrete building over 4 stories high.
But to complicate things, in Japanese we also have the word apato, which comes from the English word apartment.
An apato is also a building divided into multiple apartments, but it tends to be smaller, usually only 2 to 3 stories high. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, I think so. In Tokyo and other big cities, many people live in a mansion, I think. But if you lived in a detached house or standalone house, how would you say that in Japanese?
That's an 一軒家.
一軒家. Okay, so now you have the vocabulary to talk about what kind of place you live in. Now let's look at some other vocabulary and phrases for this lesson. Let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson. The first word we'll see is
マンション
apartment, condominium building.
マンションマンション
Next is
お願いします
please.
お願いしますお願いします
Next we have
住所
address, residence.
住所住所
Next is
着きます
to get to arrive at, to reach.
着きます着きます
Next is
すみません
excuse me, I'm sorry.
すみませんすみません
Next we have
領収書
receipt.
領収書領収書
Let's have a closer look at the usage for some of the words and phrases from this lesson.
The first phrase we'll look at is までお願いします
In the dialogue, we heard Emily say to the taxi driver,
イノベーティブマンションまでお願いします
to innovative mansion, please. So, Natsuko, let's break this down.
Well, まで is a word meaning until, to, or as far as. So in Japanese, we put the name of the place, then this word まで.
So, for example, to say to my office or to my workplace, we would say,
会社まで.
and then what about the お願いします?
This is a really useful phrase for asking people to do things politely.
That's right. It literally means, I humbly request. You can use it in so many situations. For example, if a cashier asks you if you'd like your item to be put in a bag, you can reply with, yes, please, by saying, お願いします.
Yes, that's right. It's really useful, so definitely memorize it.
Okay, so to get back to asking a taxi driver to go to a specific place, let's put this all together. Can we say, to Narita Airport, please?
成田空港までお願いします.
Great. Now it's time for the lesson focus. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to ask what something is, as in, what's the address? So Natsuko, how do we go about doing this? Let's use the phrase, what's the address, as an example.
First of all, we heard the word 住所 in the dialogue. It means address. Then, to ask what is it, we just add は何ですか?
What you're literally asking is, as for the address, what is it? Remember that the は marks the subject of the sentence. So can we have the whole sentence, Natsuko?
住所は何ですか?
Note that the word for what, nani, is always shortened to nan when followed by desu ka. Can we hear it one more time? Listeners, listen and repeat. What's the address?
住所は何ですか?
Now listeners, try saying, what's the address in Japanese.
住所は何ですか?
Okay, great. Now listeners, do you remember the kosoado words we're always talking about?
これ、それ、あれ, and どれ.
This, that over there, and which one. You can pair one of these words with this wa nan desu ka phrase to ask questions like, what's this? Or what's that? Can we hear how to say, what's this in Japanese?
これは何ですか?
Listeners, listen and repeat. What's this?
これは何ですか?
Now listeners, try asking in Japanese, what's this?
これは何ですか?
In terms of when you might use this sentence in real life, well, you could use it at a restaurant when you want to know what you're about to eat. But Natsuko, this sounds kind of abrupt, doesn't it? Is there any way we could make it sound a bit more polite?
Sure. Just add すみません at the beginning. すみません。これは何ですか?
Excuse me, what's this? Listeners, listen and repeat.
すみません。これは何ですか?
Now listeners, try asking in Japanese. Excuse me, what's this?
すみません。これは何ですか?
Okay, so we've mastered how to ask, but what if we're on the receiving end? How would we answer this type of question? In the dialogue, Emily was asked by the driver, what's the address? And she answered,
これです。
She handed over a piece of paper and said, this is it. It's really easy. Just add des after the noun to answer. So if in our imaginary restaurant the waiter answered, it's salmon, in answer to our question, he would say,
サーモンです。
Easy, right? Now let's see how much you remember. Listeners, try asking, excuse me, what's this?
すみません。これは何ですか?
And now answer, it's salmon.
サーモンです。
All right, how did you do? Okay, well that's going to do it for today.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.
じゃあ、また。
イノベーティブマンションまでお願いします。
イノベーティブマンション？住所は何ですか？
これです。
赤坂 1-2-3。はい、着きました。1380円です。
1380円。はい。すみません。領収書お願いします。